Hello, my name is Charles Porter and this is 13.4 Initiatives and Strategies for Increasing Participation. So here we have scenario 1. So this is related to SPORTIVATE. So here we have John. John is age 13. John lives in Hastings. This is in the southeast of England. He doesn't really enjoy like team sports, the school team sports, so he doesn't really get involved in team sports. However, he loves wakeboarding. He went once on holiday with family. He can't afford annual holidays, however, and he also hasn't been able to afford it at home. So, looking at John, so we have some barriers and some culture barriers as well. So, for barriers then, he doesn't enjoy team sports. So basically, wakeboarding isn't entirely it's not entirely a team sport. But to basically increase his participation in wakeboarding, he might have to go out in groups and basically interact with others to basically increase his skills in wakeboarding. So that can therefore be a barrier because there might not be basically single lessons, so like individual training for wakeboarding. So that can definitely be a barrier. The cost of it, wakeboarding, as it's a water sport, water sports are known to be quite expensive as they use like massive machinery like boats and different equipment, different special equipment. So and also he might not be able to afford the cost of the actual sessions as well, as he says he can't afford it at home and he can't afford annual holidays as well. So and he's very young as well, so therefore we'll talk about that a bit later in cultural issues. But yeah, so he might not be able to afford all the costs. And then the availability, as he's in the southeast and Hastings is on the seafront, he's obviously close to the water, but however there might not be a lot of facilities down there, so therefore that would definitely be something to look into and possibly even make some new facilities for him. But yeah, Hastings isn't known to have wakeboarding or water sports as such. And however, he's also only done it once. So as he's only done it once, he might not like it again. So he might have enjoyed it that one time. However, in England or where he's going to do it, it might be a whole different experience, and he might not enjoy it. And also the surroundings around him as well. So basically, the people who could coach him, who could basically improve his skills, he could also not get along with them. So that could prevent him from basically achieving his goals and succeeding. And then now we have cultural issues. So we've got age and his socio-economic class. So his age is definitely an issue as he's only 13, and it basically prevents him from doing a lot of things. Because when you're older, you get to do a lot of things. When you're mid-20s, you can do practically anything. So wakeboarding, there might be an age limit, or possibly even a height limit. So that's definitely something to look into as well. And then socioeconomic class. So he might have sort of a poor background, so he might come from a bad area, and wakeboarding is quite expensive, so it might be full of basically rich people, people who have a lot of money, and basically the two might not come together and they might not interact with each other. Therefore, this can decrease his participation in some of the sessions, and just making him lack in motivation as well. So how can SPORTIVATE help? What is SPORTIVATE? So SPORTIVATE is basically it's basically set out to increase mass participation. So this is ideal for Dave, because he wants to get involved in sport and he wants to get involved in wakeboarding. So this is therefore increasing mass participation. So what do they do then? So they basically organise a 6 to 8 week course that runs around 1 or 2 hours a course. So 1 or 2 hours, 1 or 2 hour session. And it can be free or subsidised. So it will either be free for Dave, as he can't pay a lot of money, or it will be, say, like a really low sum of money for each session. So it'll be like £1 or £2 per each session, and it might increase or it might decrease as the weeks go on. So they target inactive people then. So Dave, as Dave said, he doesn't like team sports, so therefore he might not be involved in sports too much. So therefore he might be targeted by SPORTIVATE, and they can definitely get him involved in wakeboarding a lot more. So therefore he's an inactive person, and that's their target audience. So it suits SPORTIVATE perfectly. So then links to John then. So SPORTIVATE can basically help John take part in wakeboarding, but they could also introduce him to other sports like wakeboarding. So, for example, they can get him involved in skateboarding, for example, because skateboarding is a popular sport in the UK, and there's a lot of skate parks around Hastings. So they can definitely there's a definite link between skateboarding and wakeboarding. Um, so last year alone, SportIvate got around 400,000 people in England. They got around that amount of money, not money. They got that amount of people basically involved in sport. So yeah, basically the goal is just to increase mass participation. So they got that much involved in sport around England, and they got 14,000 people in Sussex. So that's basically where Hastings is. So they got 14,000 people in Sussex involved as well. So therefore, Sussex is it's a very big area, and it's a very targeted area for SportIvate. So they look at it a lot to increase mass participation. So Dave is definitely being looked at. However, limitations, because there are some limitations. So so here we have basically a basic evaluation. So potential benefits then. So the costs. So SportIvate can pay for all the sessions. However, you might have to pay a small amount, but it's very small. So they can definitely help the cost. It can run for a couple of weeks, so it could run for about a month, and then he could also carry on through then if he wanted to, or if SportIvate will allow him to. Um, and and it targets inactive people, so it gets people involved. So like mass participation, as I just said, they target inactive people, and they just want to get people involved in sport, which is therefore good for a lot of people. However, there is a limited funding. So as wakeboarding is it can be a very expensive sport. SportIvate might not be able to pay for the whole thing. So Dave might have to pay for quite a lot more than what he could afford possibly. So as I said before, he could pay for each session, but that could increase over time depending on SportIvate's basic funding and allowance. And it's a target audience. So for Dave, this is alright because he doesn't take part in sport, so it's the ideal target audience. But however, if it was someone else who does take part in sport, as they're targeting inactive people, so for example, if it was a football player and they just took a slight interest into wakeboarding, they then SportIvate might not target them because they're not inactive, so therefore they won't get what they want. So now moving on to scenario 2 then. So this is based around Project 500. So here we have Louise, and Louise is a talented footballer. She has completed her CSL and basically loves coaching others. Her male PE teacher doesn't encourage her to coach the younger male or female school teams and provides the role to all the boys in his team. So sort of a sexist atmosphere around here. So barriers and cultures then. So what is basically Louise lacking? So as it's in school, Louise is therefore quite young. So to do some of the coaching courses that are provided for her to carry on and achieve her goal of being a coach basically and coaching others, she might have to therefore be a bit older so that she can do the courses. Also, she could lack. It sounds like she's lacking a lot of support from her teachers and people around her, as all the roles of a coach are being basically handed to the boys and the girls are being left out. So therefore, they can't basically increase their skills and increase their um, overall encouragement and overall basically self-confidence. Also, there might be a lack of knowledge from schools. So from the actual teachers, there might be a lack of knowledge about what females and what girls are capable of when being a coach. They might not know the potential limits that they can reach, because there are a lot of female coaches out there that are really high quality, and a lot of high quality teams use them. So that's definitely something Project 500 could get involved with and mainly help around that. So cultural issues then. So here we have 3 now. So we have gender, socioeconomic and ethnicity. So gender then. So as basically the scenario says, um, her male PE teacher. So her male PE teacher doesn't encourage the females to coach the younger male or school teams. So therefore, it's sort of a very sexist atmosphere. So if she was a male in this school, she'll probably get the coaching qualifications and the coaching and skills provided for her. However, she's a girl and she might not get that. So therefore, gender is definitely an issue in this school. So therefore, Project 500 could definitely help around that and get a lot of basically knowledge to the schools. Socioeconomic then. So like Dave, she might have a bad background, basically a poor background, and she might not be one of those people that basically interacts with the school too much. So she might not basically be involved with the PE department very much, as there might be a difference in the amount of the cost and her background basically, and also her ethnicity. As it's a female, there are quite a few religions out there and quite a few different beliefs out there, which basically prevent women from taking part in sport. Which therefore, so therefore, the teacher might be one of those religions that prevents that. So therefore, that is a definite limitation, as therefore she can't succeed what she wants to succeed. So Project 500, then what do they actually do and what are they? So Project 500, they are partners with basically Sport Coach UK and WSFF. So they basically, I'd say a year or 2 years ago, they basically decided to get 500 women um, um, within a course and basically succeed them and make them a qualified coach. So they target women into coaching basically, and they just get them involved with others, and basically increase their self confidence as well. So last year, only 30% of coaches are female. So that means that the other 70% of coaches are male. So only 30% are females. This is a massive difference here. So therefore we've got that difference again between males and females. So why can't they be equal? So that's what basically Project 500 are trying to do and get more females into coaching. Only 70% of new qualified coaches are female. So out of those other massive percentage of people, they're all male. And then the last 17% of new qualified coaches are only female. So therefore Project 500 really want to get more females involved as well. So like Louise, they basically just want her to get involved and just pass her all of her qualifications that she needs so that she can do what she wants. It was inspired by the Reach campaign, basically getting people involved, basically getting people into coaching. So how can they help Louise then? So they can basically go into the school, they could basically have a massive assembly like you would normally have at a normal school, and they could basically just teach children, teach kids, and also teach the teachers about what females are capable of, and not only that, why everyone should be equal, and basically what they get out of it, and basically the goods and bads about it. But they're all goods mainly, getting females into coaching. So it's basically educating people. So evaluation then of Project 500. So there's benefits and there is limitations. So basically the benefits then of Project 500. So they get women into coaching, so therefore it's perfect for Louise as it gets her qualifications and it gets them into coaching. It gives definite equality between people, so that everyone can get along and just massive equality throughout the whole country, so that everyone's equal and no one should be treated differently. And then cost as well. So therefore Project 500 will pay for all the qualifications for Louise, so that she can therefore go on, and it's her choice whether she wants to do the qualifications, obviously. But if she wants to go into coaching, they will pay for it. They will pay for all the qualifications so that she can achieve her goals. However, there are some limitations. it's not entirely a massive project, as they're only aiming to achieve 500 female